Hello and welcome to Gardening at 58 North. So in this video I'm going to be tidying up my Parlour palm here. You may have seen it in a previous video where I repotted it, and in fact I will need to repot this again probably next spring, but for now I'm just going to be tidying it up. So what I want to really do with this is there's a lot of lower leaves which are hanging down. I want to remove them so that I can see the pot a bit better. Also my baby is now 1 year old and is starting to pull onto the leaves, so I like to get these lower leaves off so he can't pull the plant on top of himself. And there's a few dead bits here and there in the plant that I need to remove as well. There's some old leaves that have died, some damaged leaves, and there's also some old flowers as well. So I need to remove all that, tidy it up, maybe thin out some of the leaves as well so I can see what I'm doing and get a nicer appearance to the plant. Because at the moment it's a bit congested and it does look a little bit messy. So as I pick the leaves up here, you'll notice there's several plants. Some of them are quite tall, some of them are quite small. The smaller ones do tend to have the leaves towards the base, so you'll have to be careful I don't remove all the leaves from the smaller plants, otherwise they'll die off and I'll just be left with the taller plant and the larger ones. So I've got to be careful in removing that. You can see there's also a lot of dead leaves under there that I'd like to remove, make it look a bit nicer. And then there's a few other leaves that are a bit like this, where I might have the end of the leaf that's broken, but the rest of the leaf is still alive. So for these ones, I'm just going to cut it off just about there, so you still have that nice green bit of leaf. So as I say, there's a variety of different things in this plant. There's also, as you can see, some of the tips and some of these have been browned off. So in the circumstances where the tips have been browned off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it at an angle so it still has a point to it, and then that way it doesn't look like it's been cut at all. If I was to get the tips like this one here and I just cut it straight, it would look a bit weird and look like it's been trimmed. But if I cut it off at an angle, it keeps more of the natural look of the plant and it looks like it hasn't been trimmed. So I'm just going to go ahead now, remove those lower leaves, remove any of the dead material and cut off any of the leaves that are in the wrong position. So that's the Parlour palm now cleared up. As you can see, I've got more of a clear stem at the base. That will keep my child from pulling any of the leaves away. Also has a bit more of a nice appearance. It doesn't look quite as messy as it did before. So all I'm going to do with this now is give it a quick rinse in the shower because it's very dusty. Parlour palms collect a lot of dust over time, so rinsing that dust off will really help it get more light into the leaves and also help the leaves breathe a bit better, and that should perk up this plant. So that's all for this update of this Parlour palm. I'll see you guys in spring when I'll be repotting it into a larger pot. Quite happy with how it's doing so far, and if you want to clean up your own Parlour palm, you probably only need to do it every 1 or 2 years. They're quite slow growing plants and everything seems to happen quite slowly with them, so you don't need to be in a rush to tidy them up. So that's all for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next update.